And we are live on the MLB Talk 101 once again. What is up, guys? Brian Danoff here alongside Gershon Rabinowitz, and we have another special guest joining us tonight, once again with the New York Yankees organization, third baseman Dante Bichette Jr. Dante, it is great to have you on tonight. Hope you're having a great night, and it's a pleasure to be talking with you because, nice to finally warm up and talk some baseball after hockey was just played at Yankee Stadium earlier today. So, Ty, we just interviewed Ty Hensley just an hour ago. So, Dante, how are you feeling, man? And how has this past offseason gone? How are you feeling as the baseball season is right around the corner?
Well, thanks for having me first off.
No problem.
But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling great about it. I've worked hard than ever, worked as hard as I possibly could. So, I mean, in the weight room, I got busy with my dad and my brother, and then on the field, same thing. My dad and my brother, we hit hard, man. We got everything out of this offseason for sure. Feeling good.
Nice. And, I mean, it's, of course, without question, when everyone says your name, oh, yeah, the son of Dante Bichette Sr., of course, the former Rockies slugger. We'll ask you a few more questions about that later on, but just wanted to ask you a question. This one comes from actually one of our Twitter followers, Joe Cananaco. You can find him on Twitter at Joe_Cannons. And he asks, I'm sure you've been asked this a bunch of times, but how much of an influence has your dad, Dante Bichette Sr., been on your baseball career?
I mean, I say it every time. That's a very frequently asked question. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I know, he's taught me. And everything that I'm learning, he's taught me too. He's teaching me. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be where I am without him. We're still learning things together along the way also. Like, we might think we've got it all figured out, and then the next day figure something else new out that helps even more. So, he's in there getting busy. He's a scientist when it comes to hitting, man. He's looking at videos and researching and reading stuff and everything. So, he's good to have around for sure.
And Brian mentioned about your dad's playing career, and I was actually reading today that you've read The Science of Hitting by Ted Williams, and you basically are just somebody that is a bookworm with baseball. Also, that you read a lot of baseball books, and your dad, as Brian mentioned, was one of the original Colorado Rockies. I actually remember watching your dad play. He was a Blake Street bomber. I remember watching him, I think, when he was with the Reds and the Red Sox at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He wasn't as potent back then as he was when he was with Larry Walker and on that Rockies team in '95 that got them their first wild card spot. But at that time, at 8 years old in 2000, when you were 8, that was when he retired. What early memories do you have of watching your dad play in the major leagues, if any, whether it's going to games or maybe attending batting practice? Do you have any memories of seeing your dad play in the majors?
I've got a few real vivid ones. One was, well, actually, I'll start with this one. He used to, after games, take me out to the field and let me run out to the outfield and whack tennis balls up in the air and I'd go run them down. And one time we were at Fenway Park, and he hit it, and all the lights shut off. They shut all the lights off. I still caught it, though. It was pitch black. I still caught it. I don't know how. But I did that. And then another day he took me out to hit and take grounders, and I remember taking a ground ball off the shin, getting lace marks, and having to go to the training room. And
ouch.
Yeah, and they iced me up and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool, though, because I was in the training room. But, as far as him playing, though, I remember him throwing somebody out at first base from right field. But I don't remember any hitting things, which I kind of wish I did.
Yeah, he had a big home run in '95. I think it was against the Mets. I think the first game at Coors Field, that was one of the big ones of his career.
Yeah, he walked off in extra innings.
Yeah, that was against the New York Mets. Now, I wonder with the tennis balls that you hit at Coors Field, I wonder if any of them went over the wall because of the altitude in Coors Field.
Yeah, actually, people think that it's just the ball jumps, which it does.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's more that the breaking balls of the pitchers don't break. It has nothing to grab onto. So, I mean, the fastball's going to be a little flatter, and the breaking balls are also going to be a little flatter, so that makes for a good hitting time. For sure.
And in those days, they didn't use the humidor, so in those days, the balls would just jump. I mean, it would basically be 8-7 in the second inning in most games, it seemed like. Especially with the way that the Rockies, with some of their pitchers, or lack thereof of pitching. And now, in 2004, 2005, Dante, you participated in the Little League World Series. And from Madeline, Florida, what do you remember most of those 2 years playing the Little League World Series?
That was a blast. That was up until when I got drafted, that was the best baseball moments of my life. And I mean, we all just wanted to play on TV on ESPN. So when we got to the finals of regionals, we were pumped about that, and then we ended up winning and getting to play 3 more games on TV. So that was fun. I mean, we were only 12, so I mean that's about as much as you can ask for. But we got to meet all kids from different places. We really hit off with the Japanese kids, and just had a good time playing baseball.
One of the most famous players that ended up playing in the Little League World Series is the guy that's going to be starting for the Texas Rangers at second base, Jurickson Profar. Did you ever meet him? Or
we did. We actually,
I know that you didn't play him.
No, we didn't play him.
Yeah.
But the way that the dorms were set up, there was a shower, and then there was 2 teams on each side of the shower, and we split with the Curacao team. So we actually hung out with Jurickson almost every single night. We raced him because he was the fastest dude there. We raced him at that time through the Grove and stuff, and he still, I hit him up on Twitter like a year ago when I went down to the Dominican Republic to play, and he was there, so he came and said hi to me and stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, one highlight of the 2005 Little League World Series that drew the attention of so many baseball fans that are watching you was when Skip Bayless criticized you for declining to interview with Harold Reynolds because you wanted him to sleep in. Were you surprised that so many people actually paid attention to that and really cared that you wanted to sleep in? I mean, I'm thinking you're 12 years old. Why don't Skip Bayless cut you some slack? I mean, you're just playing Little League baseball. You're doing this for fun. I mean, I don't know if that had to do with your last name. I don't know if Skip Bayless wants to draw attention to himself or something. Can you explain exactly what happened?
No, I mean, looking back on it, definitely should have gone to that. But I mean, I was 12, and Harold Reynolds, he's been a family friend forever, so I really didn't think of it as anything huge. I guess it was, and people thought so, but I didn't think so at all at times. I just wanted to sleep, man. It was like it was cold pizza, so it was like at 5 in the morning or something. I had a big game.
Right.
Yeah, that was the show that became ESPN First Take, I remember.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that's great, to hear. I mean, definitely playing a Little League World Series, I'm sure got you prepared and got you, into playing baseball on a big stage. So, of course, you were drafted by the Yankees in 2011 out of Orangewood Christian High School in Florida, of course. So take us back to draft day. And again, that's another question that's always asked, but it's interesting to hear these responses from varying players. What was it like that day, getting the call, waiting for the call, and just describe that moment. I hope your dad was with you, and just explain what that whole experience was like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my family was there, my grandparents, and then 4 of my real close buddies. We didn't want to make a big thing about it, so I just had, the guys that were tightest to me, and they all came over. We watched it on the big screen. It was pretty cool. It's actually funny because you wouldn't know this, but guys don't know where they're going to go in the draft until, it happens. So,
right.
I mean, sometimes there's preset deals and all that, but I mean, things can change, anytime. And so for me, I just kept getting moved up until all of a sudden, the Yankees, they liked me and they wanted to take me with their first pick. So I told everybody else, I put a number up there that was kind of out of my reach, and so I went to the Yankees pick. So
right.
Yeah, it ended up great.
And the draft is covered a lot differently these days. I mean, it's not like the NFL draft where you'll know exactly, or have an idea, this guy's going to be drafted 17th to 23rd most likely. I mean, for a while it used to be that, you would have to basically get a phone call, and that's how you would find out that you would get drafted. Now, the first couple of rounds are on MLB Network, and then I think rounds 10 through 40 are announced the second or third day. So I know the process is a little bit different now. Now, let's fast forward a little bit to your first professional season, Dante. You hit 342 average, 446 on base percentage, 505 slugging, helped the Charleston River Dogs, that's a single-A affiliate of the New York Yankees, win a championship. How did you avoid complacency after achieving so much success in your first professional season?
It was it actually, the season started off really bad. I mean, I was over my first 24 or something, and it was the game was a million miles per hour, and I was caught looking at everything, and hit balls hard, getting out, and it was just crushing me. But then I figured some things out. I slowed the game down. A lot of times when a player's left alone and given the opportunity to fix things on his own, he does it. Especially the guys that are gonna pull through in the future and stuff. So I mean, I did it, and ended up being a real good year. We had a great team. I mean, that was definitely a huge part of it. Our whole 1 through 9, we just mashed the whole. I mean, I think 8 guys out of the 9 were Dominicans, and I was the only American. But I mean, we had a good time. Um, but after that, I actually went to Staten Island, and we won there too. I played 2 games, I think. I hit a homer, and
Nice.
that was a fun time. I love Staten Island, man. That was a great place.
And it was funny that you mentioned about Staten Island because that was actually my next question. I mean, you played 2 games as you mentioned. I think you had about 7 or 8 at bats when you were there. What was it
8.
like playing? Yeah, 8 at bats. Wow.
Mhm.
What was it like playing in the shadow of New York City? You know, Yankee Stadium's so close yet so far. I've been to Richmond County Bank Ballpark. I covered the team a little bit last year. So it's a beautiful facility. It's not that far actually from MCU Park. It's just over the bridge. That's also one of the best minor league facilities in all of baseball. So what was it like playing in Staten Island and just surrounded by everything like that?
It's awesome, man. If you ever get a chance to go check that stadium out, like a night game over there, go
Oh,
check
yeah.
it out. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But it looks out straight to the river, straight to the New York City downtown. So I mean, like, you can see Statue of Liberty, and then you can see boats. I mean, right on the other side of the right field fence, there's huge tanker boats driving by and stuff. So it's a great place to play baseball for sure. The atmosphere is awesome. You get a lot of run over fans too. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since you were drafted, Dante, you've been working closely with the minor league brass about refining various aspects of your game, including your swing. I think you had a very long swing, and they try to shorten your stride a little bit.
Mhm.
And so explain to us the importance of making adjustments and what Yankee organization and even your dad, who was helping you with your hitting, what they were able to do to try to tweak your swing a little bit.
I actually think that I should never try to tweak it. Should never try to touch it or anything.
Right.
I actually think I was pretty good. I mean, sometimes the best players have got a little something quirky going on in their swing, But I mean, you think about all the superstar sluggers in the big leagues. They all got huge cuts. You know what I'm saying? But the typical thing for people want me to do is shorten up and be able to hit the ball the other way and stuff, which I never had a problem with. But what I did probably was listen a little bit too much. I think I could have taken the good with the bad instead of just taking everything. So, I learned from that, and I went downhill for a little bit, just trying to people please. If that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm back to myself. So I got my mojo back, got myself back. Doing what I do really.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to go back into last season and what went wrong, but I mean, your numbers were up, 11 home runs, 61 RBIs, but your average was on the downside, around 214. So, I mean, on the Yankees, I'm sure you'll bounce back.
Yeah.
But the Yankees also drafted another third baseman, Eric Jagielo, and I'm sure you know him, and he played with Staten Island last summer, had a pretty impressive debut. So I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but do any prospects that play the same position as you or are closely connected with you, do they ever give you that type of extra pressure or that extra want to outperform or play better? I mean, does it ever kind of stress you out a little bit and worry that maybe this guy might overtake my spot and my potential, maybe making
Right.
it to the Yankees?
I'm sure people do feel that pressure. I've always known that when I figure it out, it doesn't really matter who's ahead or behind or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna have to make a spot for me somewhere. But and I think that's coming real soon too. But as far as other guys, they gotta make a living too. So you cheer them on if they're your teammates, but you just play as hard as you can. And something I learned about myself towards the end of last season was I haven't lost any confidence in my type of play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other people's type of play maybe a little bit because I wasn't. I never hit like that. I never learned nothing like that. So, but in the way that I play, I haven't lost a step. So I'm good to go.
Yeah, and I mean, people look at you as a third baseman, and I've heard a lot of people saying that, a lot of scouts are saying that, they don't feel that you're going to end up playing in the infield in the major leagues. I mean, your dad, of course, was an outfielder. Is it your goal to stay at third base and play in the majors, or are you flexible to, maybe moving to a new position, for the benefit of the team?
I can play wherever. I just want to hit. But, I mean, I can play third. I can move for a big guy, and I played a lot with Cito Culver this last couple of years too, and he can play. I mean, I'm sure
Oh yeah,
he can pick
yeah.
it. But I play second, play first, play outfield, wherever. I don't know if catching's really my thing. I don't know about that, but everywhere else I'm fine with.
Well, they got Brian McCann, so I think you're set for a
Yeah.
while.
And they also have Gary Sanchez. I mean,
Oh,
J.R. Murphy, and they got a slew of catchers down there.
oh yeah, Yankees minor leagues is a breeding for catchers. It's great.
Yeah. And last year, your father actually became the hitting instructor for the Colorado Rockies for his old friend and teammate Walt Weiss. That was actually the first time that you felt a little bit of separation anxiety because that year, I mean, it used to be that you would always have your routine 6:30 in the morning. You would get up, you would eat breakfast, take a couple of swings, work with your dad, and
Right.
but most of your conversations had to be via cell phone and basically via digital media because he was working with the Rockies. This year, he's not going to be doing. He decided that he's not going to be coaching as a hitting instructor for the Rockies this year. So is that going to be a little bit different? And I mean, did that affect your play at all last year, or it was just trying to please everybody and you had just difficulty trying to adjust to a new swing?
That's a good one. Actually, we used UberSense a lot. You ever heard of that? It's like a video recording app. You can slow it down and draw stuff on it, whatever.
Hmm.
And we sent videos back and forth, which actually may have been a bad idea. When he came on some off days and stuff, and I'd go to him on my off days or whatever. And when he came, he'd be able to spot things like that. I mean, he'd tell me something, bam, I'd hit a home run the next day. But like, sometimes when he's trying to do it over video or whatever, it's a little more difficult because he's not there in person seeing what's going on. But we deal with it, and he had a fun time up there. It was great for my little brother. He got to go drop bombs with the big leaguers in BP and stuff, and he was going like I think he went up on the concourse in Coors. So I mean, he's only 15, so that's pretty impressive, and that's cool for him to find out that he can do that stuff. But it wasn't a bad attempt at all. I'm happy that Bo got to go do that, and my dad got to experience it.
Yeah, and I'm 15. I wish I could drop bombs at Coors Field, but I don't see that happening anytime in the near future. But anyway, another question I had. I mean, if I remember correctly, you were with the River Dogs last season, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this has to come up. I wonder if you've been asked about this since. A certain someone by the name of Alex Rodriguez came and played a few rehab games in Charleston.
Right.
I mean, all controversy aside about him. Did you get to meet him? Did you get to talk to him a little bit about baseball, just baseball, and did he give you any advice, any pointers? I mean, I'm sure it's a bit of a shell shock to play with such a big name in baseball. So, what was it like having A-Rod there? And I'm sure the crowds were the biggest, and it was intense. And what was that like? Those few games that he played with you guys.
The only other person to ask me that was MLB.com, I think, since that's happened. So
Oh wow.
yeah, but it was a blast. I mean, he came and it's everybody's a little quieter that day and looking around, But we got to meet him. Super nice guy. He of course he's got some controversy with what's going on, but nice can be to us, and took care of us, bought us some steak and stuff after the game.
Yeah.
And then on the field you got to really see people love him till he gets out, then they hate him. Next to
Right.
they love him again, gets hit, they love him. If he gets out, they hate. It's up and down. It's kind of a roller coaster ride for him, but he was nice, and he's obviously as mentally tough as you can get. You saw that couple of bats off Dempster. So I mean,
yeah.
he's as strong as you get. So it was cool meeting him though for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of mental toughness, manager Joe Girardi, I mean, he's dealt basically also with some criticism and praise and a mixture of that since replacing Joe Torre as Yankee manager. And he was always mentally tough as a player, but people pretty much forget that before Girardi came to the Yankees, from 1993 to 1995, he played with your dad, Dante, with the Colorado Rockies, and he's actually a good friend of the family, and Joe actually named his son after your dad. My question to you is, how much of an impact did Joe Girardi have on you growing up, and of course, you being drafted by the Yankees?
I remember little things about when I was younger. We really used to be around each other just because, my dad and him still played and stuff. My mom stayed pretty close with his wife as well. My dad texts him and talks to him all the time. But as far as being drafted, I don't know if he had much any say in that at all. Actually, I don't think that's really his department. But I know he came out to one game in my high school junior year. I was able to put on a little show. So I mean, I was a little bit amped up because he was there. So But it was fun. I mean, I'm sure he was happy that I was there, and I actually got to play in a game with him managing in 2 years ago in big league spring training. I got 2 at-bats up there, so it was good.
And you hit 2 home runs in those 2 at-bats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was the game against Houston, I believe.
Yeah, we faced some stud they had coming up, and then their closer or something. I don't know, but yeah, 2 homers. So that was a good day.
Yeah, and as you're getting ready for 2014, Dante, what have you been doing to prepare this offseason?
Hitting the gym harder than ever, harder than I even knew that we really could. And not only the gym, but like speed work and pushing a prowler, which is a big sled thing, pushing it up a hill, you know, time and time again. But I definitely feel like I've got stronger. We tried to nail the body parts, the main body parts, and really lift heavy. We lifted smart, but we lifted as heavy as we could go. And got on the field. We're doing some live at bats. My dad pitches in his men's league, so he was able to come out and pitch to me a little bit, pitch against me a little bit, and we got some video and stuff, and put together a cool little montage.
Yeah. So now we know about Dante Bichette Jr., the baseball player. I just wanted to ask a few more questions before we let you go. Personally, when you're off the field, when you're not playing baseball, when you're not working out, what are some other things you like to do? TV shows, Netflix, are you into that type of stuff? Movies. I mean, what's your taste, I guess I could say, in, pop culture, I guess?
Well, me and my brother, we play Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we play video games. I mean, you got to. We got pretty good at it, too. He got some buddy on there that goes like 40-0 every round, but
wow.
we're not that good yet, but we're good. Me and my mom, we just found this new yoga place. We just moved, so we found this new yoga place down the road, and we go there all the time now. Really gotten into that, gotten into like the whole, thing of it. It's good. It's good counterbalance for lifting and playing ball so much. Going to the beach, we live on the beach, so I mean it's a little cold right now, but get out there as soon as it gets warm. Got jet skis and stuff, and like to do that. And then the girl comes hanging out, me, her, and my brother, we hang out and do stuff, watch movies, whatever.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. That's all the time I think we have tonight with Dante Bichette Jr. Dante, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we hope to have you on again sometime in the near future.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes. So for Dante Bichette Jr., Gershon Rabinowitz, I am Brian Dana for the MLB Talk 101. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys again soon. And again, best of luck to Dante Bichette Jr., son of Dante Bichette Sr. Hopefully one day he can make a big impact in the major leagues like his dad did. So hope you guys all have a great night, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Once again, this is Brian Dana for the MLB Talk 101, signing off. Have a great night.